Greetings and welcome. A Better Official Live. We are live streaming on a beautiful Wednesday morning here in the San Francisco Bay Area, where we have some fog on the horizon. Unusual. But that's what we've got here. I hope everyone is doing well and has functional weather in your part of the world. I know up in Fairbanks, we don't want to be there. No, we don't. So hopefully Mike Goodwin gives us a game time temperature here. Gary Mouton in the house. Gary, we're super excited to be here. Show supporter Gary Mouton. Much appreciated.
Slightly out of sync.
Okay. Lightly out of sync. That's what my tech team. I'm here with, of course, Oliver and Gus, manning all things video and tech, audio. So, that's why we struggle at times. Those crazy kids. Let's go. There. All right, tremendous. So I hope everyone has some tales to tell of their games, their early season games. I think everybody's started by now. I know some venues, some parts of the world started last night. I had a game last night. Nothing too spectacular. Didn't screw it up too bad. Boy, the eyes, the speed of the eyes, a little rusty. Let's just put it that way. Thomas Hennian, Virginia Battlefield Basketball Officials Association. Excellent. Great to see you, Thomas. The Zooch has a game starting tomorrow. All right. Excellent. Oh, I see. Interesting. Martin Tim, good to see you. Greetings. I wasn't that late today, just a minute or two. It's worth it. It's worth it to wait that extra moment just to ensure there's fewer things going wrong. Jason Hayes shows up for his game last night. AD says, "Why are you guys here?" You never want to show up at the gym and the lights aren't on, right? Or somebody's there like, "What are you guys doing here?" They moved the game and forgot to tell the assigner, right? That is a thing. It's always I find that to be extremely frustrating just because you're, there's positives and negatives. We're ready to go. We're anticipating. We're excited. And then no game. But of course, yes, payment is made in any event. Dr. Phil, happy Hanukkah to you. Good morning, Patrick. Yeah, when you're off the grid, assignment-wise, that can happen. Mike has come in from sunning himself outdoors, working on that upper body tan at a -6, a -7 degrees Fahrenheit. Oy. Well, that's crazy. That's crazy. So it's that time now. It's bright and early in Alaska, right? The sun does the sun ever come? Or what is the sun situation in Alaska this time of year? That's a good question. Like, is it like the sun never goes down or the sun never comes up? Which one of those? Or somewhere in between. But that is brisk. That is brisk. When you go to a game this time of year, Mike, what's like the game time temperature when you're walking in the gym? Let me know. Stephen Yesanoski. Stephen, good to see you from Pennsylvania. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Well, so we have been working on the show. I guess we have an audio issue, but I'm going to plow through that and we'll, you know, yeah, we'll plow through that. But we've been working on the show, formatting, etc., trying to get our systems in place so that we can execute the show like clockwork, get their editing process done smoother and just less technology issues. I've had a meeting with my staff, Gus and Oliver, and I kind of read them the riot act. I let them know what my expectations are, etc. So we will see if they are up to snuff today, and we hold them to a high standard. Yeah, let's go there. All right. Okay. So I did a Facebook Live into Rules Talk with referees the other day on Sunday. First time live streaming into Facebook, and that's a little different experience. And it was not what we would say is a wild success. It wasn't publicized. I just went live in an effort to get some reps in that format, and the stream itself was pretty good, but without engagement. Without a all right, I'm going to try to change. Let's see if I can. I'll try to fix the audio issue. Oh. Interesting. Mike Goodwin. Yes. Oh, okay. So sunrise at 10:20 and sunset at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So you get like a little under a 5-hour day of sunshine. Wow. Wow. And I assume that the sun comes up and it just never gets that high in the sky and then goes down like that. That is wild. That is wild. Huh. That's a good play, Thomas. Throw in from a designated spot. Defender crosses the plane and waves the hand in the face of the thrower. Delay of game warning is issued, but some say it should be a player technical for waving in the face. Thoughts? So we could have a combination of the two. You could have in that situation, right, like player waves their hand in the face of the opponent, right? That is a player technical foul by rule. You need to make a judgment about whether it rises to that, that level. NFHS says what's going to happen if you're waving your hand near a face? Somebody's going to get hit in the face. We don't want that, right? So that is an option. And if we did go player technical, they did violate the plane as well. So there would be a delay of game warning there as well. Similar to the situation where, yeah. So I'd say, both options are there in that situation, but it's not something you see every day. So, okay. All right. Okay, I have to remember. All right. Okay. Awesome. All right, let's move now. Let's go here. Yeah, let's take a look at the rundown. Of course, it's Wednesday, so we are filming our basketball rules expert live, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. And of course, on Friday, we will have 5 Play Friday Live, where we look at game video, analyze all of the things that our crews are doing. Are they executing, the mechanics correctly? Is the correct official making the correct call? Are we in the right position, etc.? And gives us a chance to see plays where we may not, we do hundreds of games. This play has never occurred in my game. We get to see plays occurring, helps us be aware of them so when they do occur in our game, we can adjudicate properly and be prepared. If you're new to the live stream, of course, put your voice in the game. Let us know where you officiate from. I'd be pleased to meet you. If you're new to me, my name is Greg Austin with A Better Official, and we craft video to help basketball officials get better. And on Wednesday, we do Basketball Rules Expert, where we talk about play scenarios, National Federation of High School Basketball rules, so we can all get better together and we can take those rules with us onto the basketball court. And if anything comes up during the stream, if you have an opinion about a play, a ruling, a hint, a tidbit about how you approach those situations, put your voice in the game. Let us know in the chat. We got a great community of officials here talking about basketball, right? And so that's one of the things that I think is valuable in the live stream and in the show is just the language, right? We want exposure to that language. If you are separated from it, right, you don't have the benefit of, just a second. Oh, and of course, share the stream. Hit the share button on the YouTube video below. Share it on social. I know just prior to the show start, or while the countdown was running, I shared it up to Twitter. I'm going to start doing more of that so we can get more people in the chat. But that way we can all get better together. Look at that beautiful animation that my tech team has created. Oliver, thank you for that. That was very well prepared. All right. Yeah, so one of the advantages that we have when we just expose ourselves to the language, right? The rules book language, talking about rules in a sort of a disciplined fashion, we want to have that skill available to us, right? We want to be able to speak that language so that when we're presenting rulings on a play to stakeholders in the game, we can be precise and clear and accurate, right? And we may go back in the locker room and say, hey, partner, hey, on that and one, you had the push from behind, and right, we could speak, different ways about the game of basketball, but having the ability to have that rules book language so that we can make proper presentation of rulings, that is a positive. And hopefully with this show, we give everybody an opportunity to just sort of settle into an hour and a half of disciplined language, although it's a challenge. It's a definite challenge. Oh, awesome. Okay. Anthony Cicciarelli, excellent. Colorado, all right. In Denver, excellent, excellent. Good to see you, Anthony. Yeah. That is low slung. Hey, Les O'Connor's in the house. Well, now we can get started. Charles. Oh, okay. Okay. That tells me, Charles, that you are of a certain age, right? Remind you of Bill Walton. Yeah. So the people that people say I remind them of, if you are really old, or, well, he kind of had a renaissance. Fred Gwynn, who was on the Munsters and Car 54, Where Are You? Where's Billy Mack with our old school references today? So Fred Gwynn, right, he was, he did those shows back in the 60s, and then he had kind of a renaissance as he aged. So if you're really, really old, then you say, hey, you look like Fred Gwynn. If you are old, you say, hey, you look like Bill Walton. If you are younger, you say it looks like House, right? So I could tell the demographic based on the comment. Awesome. Chris Owens in the house. Great to see you, Chris. All right. Okay, I'm excited. So let me do... Okay, a little out of sequence here. Yeah, Fred Gwynn, that must have been his, that was like his later career. Dean Hodges in the house. Whoa, there you go. Awesome. Oh, good excuse. No, we have not achieved super excited level today. I'm sorry. Not yet. Not yet. Okay, I'm trying to figure out why I'm over here and not over here. Give me just a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. Okay, and I'm going to say, Hey, we're here to talk about the rules of high school basketball. Let's get started today. We got 10 questions. Let's go. Greetings and welcome back to the Basketball Rules Expert, the show where we take National Federation of High School Basketball rules and we lift them off the printed page, breathe life into them, simplify, clarify, amplify so that we can take the rules with us onto the basketball court. Greetings again, everybody. My name is Greg Austin with A Better Official. I've been a high school basketball official here in the San Francisco Bay Area for over a decade, and I consider myself to be knowledgeable about the rules of high school basketball. This show is all about helping you on a journey to becoming a basketball rules expert as well. Allow me a moment to thank our tremendous show supporters without whom the show is not possible. Give me just a second. Allow me a moment to thank our tremendous show supporters without whom the show wouldn't be possible. Jeffrey Jewett, Gary Mouton, Ashton Dillon, Dan Kelly, and Les O'Connor Jr. Much appreciated and much love. If you want to support the show, there'll be a link in the show notes below. Okay. All right. Today we are looking at questions evoking National Federation of High School Basketball rules so we can take the rules with us onto the court. We'll start with some simple, basic meat and potato questions, fundamentals, essential components that we want to take with us onto the court. Let's get started. We'll go there. Look at that. Look at that. Nice. Oliver, excellent work. Excellent work. Okay, so I'm going there. Okay. The transitions are the stumbling block. All right, let's take a look now at our very first. I see what I'm doing. Never mind. All right, let's take a look today at our first rules scenario. Okay. Got it. All right, let's take a look now at our very first rule scenario. After obtaining legal guarding position, the guard may move in which of the below directions when contact occurs? A, laterally, B, obliquely, C, backward, or D, all of the above, right? An essential question about the essential thing that we officiate when we officiate the game of basketball, right? Guarding. Ball handling and guarding. That's our meat and potatoes of what we're doing on the basketball court. Players who are in a guarding position are allowed, once they have established that initial legal guarding position, 2 feet on the floor, facing their opponent, are allowed to move laterally, obliquely, and backward, right? Laterally being sideways, backwards being backwards, and obliquely being sort of in between those two. That movement is legal by rule. Right? And this is just a basic, simple component of officiating basketball that we need to understand, and it's something that we just want to have that with us at all times. Well, the player, he moved laterally. He moved obliquely. Right? You throw that at a coach. I was like, what did he do? He moved into him. No, he moved obliquely. Legal guarding position by rule. Okay. Right. So I love it. So our correct answer on this one is all of the above. Laterally, obliquely, and backwards. All are legal by a defender once they have established that legal guarding position. A basic fundamental question that leads us to me getting to this shot. This is where I want to be. Excellent. Right, so this is just a simple question to get us started. Fundamental concept. We have to be able to take this with us onto the basketball court, this simple understanding of what guarding players are allowed to do by rule. Just a reminder, we do film our live stream and videos using Ecamm Live, right? The #1 live streaming software for Mac. If you are interested in a free trial, there will be a link in the description below. Ooh. All right, let's take a look now at our next simple, basic rules question. How many free throws are awarded for an intentional foul? 1 free throw in all situations? B, no free throws if committed by the team in control. C, 1 free throw if committed on a successful 2-point or 3-point try. Or D, 2 free throws if committed on a successful 2-point try, and 3 free throws if committed on an unsuccessful 3-point try. Right? It's a question we see all the time. How many free throws do we award in an intentional foul situation? A basic thing that we have to be able to take with us on the court. As we often like to say, the penalty for an intentional foul is always 2 free throws, and the ball by the 2 free throws awarded to the offended player or their eligible substitute, and the ball to the team at the spot nearest the foul after those 2 free throws, except one instance where if there's an intentional foul during a 3-point try and that try is unsuccessful, then we would award 3 free throws to that offended player or eligible substitute, and again the ball to the team back at the spot nearest the foul. Right? That's a basic thing, right? So if we're fouled and the ball goes in, right? It's and one. No, it's if we rule intentional foul, it's always Always 2 free throws. So we also have in here, in B here, no free throws if committed by the team in control. Just recognize that if we have something that rises to the level of intentional foul or flagrant foul by a player on the team in control, let's say a violent, excessive contact play on a screening action or something like that, it is no longer a team control foul. It is an intentional foul. And the intentional foul can be committed by a team not in control or a team in control. If it rises to that level, that is the penalty. So on this play, our correct answer is D. 2 free throws if committed on a successful 2-point try, and 3 free throws if committed on an unsuccessful 3-point try. Right? So it's the answer itself doesn't fully explain the penalty for an intentional foul, but it is a true statement. Cool, right? So again, another simple, basic concept that we have to bring with us onto the basketball court. All right. Patrick Whitson is reporting violations to the table. Hey, that's travel. What I do find, Patrick, after a few games here, is rust. A lot of rust. It's kind of like building up, piling up around me as I stand on the court. Just some basic stuff. You just break your habits. No Despair Bear is in the house. Everybody's going to get this right. Come on now, right? This is the basics, starting out with 4 basic, simple questions today. No, I'm not going there. I'm going there. I'm going there. I'm going there. All right, fantastic. Right, so again, a simple concept that we always want to have with us when we go on the basketball court. Because again, right, intentional foul scenario occurs in our game. We may have energy, right? There may be a little bit of confusion, right? Where there's pushback from the coach of the player who committed the foul, right? We can be distracted as a crew and maybe go down the wrong path. But if we always know, hey, intentional foul, 2 free throws, offended player, ball at the spot, right? Those basics, if we carry those with us, we're in great shape to properly adjudicate plays when they occur, right? And that's what we want to do. That's what we want to do. All right, let's move on now to another basic rules question. The following results in a traveling violation if a player with the ball lifts the pivot foot and then A, passes the ball, B, shoots the ball, C, begins a dribble, or D, drops the ball to the floor, right? Traveling violation. Player with the ball lifts their pivot foot, right? And then does one of these things, passes, shoots, drops the ball to the floor, or begins a dribble. One of those is illegal, right? That's a simple question. That's straightforward. We can get that right. It is illegal to lift a pivot foot and begin a dribble, right? Players can get themselves into this position where they're holding the ball, they have a pivot foot, they get off balance, and then they release a pass. Boy, that looks funny. Everybody in the gym says, oh, traveling, right? That's a response, but it's legal by rule. Obviously, players can, anytime they're making a move to the basket, a step-through play, they're going to lift the pivot foot and release a try for goal. Those are straightforward. Now, D could catch us, right? A player gets in that position and drops the ball to the floor, right? Our first reaction is, oh, that's going to be that's going to be traveling for initiating a dribble. But dropping the ball to the floor would not be the initiation of a dribble. If they then contacted the basketball, then we'd have something different. But that's not what we have on this play. We have a simple... Gotta get the rhythm. Gotta get the rhythm here. Okay. Ah. Boy, oh boy. Oh, Les, taunting. That is taunting. The breakfast reference. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Right. Starts a dribble. It's really straightforward. Easy peasy and basic. But, I got that going a little too long. All right. So, fundamental concept about a player dribbling the basketball, initiating a dribble, one that we can always enjoy a cup of coffee with. Right? Once the pivot foot is lifted, a player not allowed to begin a dribble. Straightforward, are allowed to do things, some things legally. They can always pass, shoot, call a timeout, right? Always. So another basic play, straightforward as can be. Awesome. Let's take a look at another simple rules question. A1 is fouled, but erroneously is not awarded free throws, even though the bonus is in effect. Team A is given a throw-in, and after the successful throw-in, A2 and B3 cause a held ball. The error is discovered during the dead ball that follows the held ball. The possession arrow favors Team B. How is play resumed? A. Play resumes with the result of A1's free throws. B. It is too late to correct the error. C. A1 is given a 1-on-1 free throw attempt with players occupying the positions on the free throw lane. Or D. A1 is given a 1-on-1 free throw attempt with the free throw lane cleared, followed by a throw-in by Team B. Oy, oy, oy. Right? Not a simple rules scenario. This is a correctable error scenario, right? And one that we like to focus on because there are 5 correctable errors and 4 of them revolve around awarding or not awarding merited free throws. Okay? But the one that happens most frequently, that we can get our best bang for the buck in understanding how to adjudicate a correctable error play correctly, is not awarding merited free throws, right? We can have a situation where we awarded free throws and they were not merited, but much more frequently we would there'd be some miscommunication. The number on the scoreboard of team fouls doesn't show rising to the level of bonus free throws. If we can dominate this one scenario, we are ahead of the game. Okay, so we have a situation where instead of awarding merited free throws, we award a throw-in. And again, this is going to be our most common scenario for correctable error. We like to use the 80-20 rule, right? This will give us 80% of the time we're going to go to anything correctable error related. It's going to be on this play. It's going to be one of the 5, right? So in this instance, whenever we have a possible correctable error, the horn sounds, hey ref, hey ref. That should have been 1-on-1. Okay? Where's the ball? Has there been a change of possession? Because that's going to determine how we properly adjudicate the play, how we administer the play. If there's been a change of possession, right? We gave the ball to Team A. Team A had the ball during the throw-in, and at some point now Team B has the ball, right? Then we are going to do things differently than if, let's just imagine the same scenario, the simple scenario. We erroneously don't award the free throw. We give the ball to Team A, right? Out of bounds for the throw-in. The ball has become live. And the table says, hey, ref. 1-on-1. What are we going to do? We're going to put that player on the line. We're going to fill the lane with players, and we're going to resume the game at that point, right? Because there has been no change of possession. Now, Team A, same thing. Give the ball. They throw the ball into a player in the corner. They throw it up top. Players dribbling in the front court. Hey, ref. Should have been 1-on-1. Same scenario. Team A had the ball, erroneously not awarded free throws, there's been no change of possession. So we're going to resume with that merited free throws, players in the lane. Now let's go another scenario. Throw it in. The ball's deflected, stolen by Team B. Team B's dribbling in the front court. Hey, ref, should have been 1-on-1. Now we're still within the correctable error time frame, but now we've had a change of possession. And that's going to affect how we handle the administration of what happens next, right? And it's really simple and it's really straightforward, right? If there's been a change of possession, we will award, and we are within the correctable error time frame, we will award the merited free throws, right? The player with the lane cleared, and we're always going to resume at the point of interruption in that instance. So if we go back to our play, which is a little bit unique, we have a situation where there's a held ball and the possession arrow favors Team B. So at this point in time, when the game is stopped, what is the point of interruption? What would happen if we did nothing? We would award the ball to Team B for a throw-in, and that would constitute, in this instance, Team A no longer has the ball. So since Team B now would have the ball for the resulting throw-in, right, our correct answer is going to be D. We will award the free throws with the lane cleared and followed by an alternating possession throw-in to Team B at the spot where the held ball occurred. So this is a unique angle, but it exposes the fact that the number one erroneously, correctable error situation, the number one, if we can dominate, right? I fully understand how to handle this play in this scenario. Merited free throws were not awarded. The game continued. I know what the correctable error time frame is. I'm going to timestamp when the horn sounds, hey ref, right? At that point, who has the ball? What has happened leading up to that point? And we can adjudicate this play properly. So this is a great play scenario. This is a great rules scenario that can really give us bang for buck, right? I may not understand erroneously canceling scores or this, that, and the other thing, but this is the one that's going to happen a lot in our game, right? This is one that's going to happen frequently. So if we can master this correctable error scenario, right? The two, right? There's been no change of possession. There is a change of possession. We are within the correctable error time frame, and merited free throws should be awarded. What do we do next? This is a great opportunity to get that right. Oh. You're conflicting yourself, Zooch, right? I'm sorry. Comprehension. Reading comprehension. Excellent. Scott Calvin's in the house. Good to see you, Scott. It's a simple sequence, Les. It's a simple sequence. Boy, oh boy. And I'm here now. So a little, we had only a limited number of simple questions. Now we're getting into more complex questions. And let's look at another correctable error rules question. When there is a correctable error for awarding of an unmerited free throw, which activity during that unmerited free throw is canceled? A, a common foul. B, a technical foul. C, an intentional foul. Or D, a flagrant foul. Right, so now we have probably our second most common correctable error, and that is the awarding of an unmerited free throw. Like the officials thought there was double bonus, but it should have been 1-1, right? The board said 10. It was actually only 9. The player missed their first free throw, and now we are awarding an unmerited second free throw in that situation. Right? But this is an extremely rare circumstance where we have a foul during that unmerited free throw, right? How often do we actually have an unmerited free throw in our game? Going to be extremely rare, but definitely something that can happen, right? But in addition, I see. In addition, right now we have a foul during that, or something, or a technical foul, or a flagrant foul, or something like that. Would be a very unusual situation. But by rule, if we get into a situation where we have an unmerited free throw, right, this activity should not be occurring, and a common foul occurs, like let's say that was our situation. We awarded double bonus, should have been a 1-1. Player missed the first, and they are now attempting a second free throw that was unmerited. And during that free throw, there is displacement and a foul is ruled, right? And then, hey, ref, that last foul was not, should have just been 1-1, right? Okay, we got some unraveling to do. But by rule, we are going to disregard a common foul which occurs in this situation. But if we have a technical foul, intentional foul, or flagrant foul, since those are more severe, there is no way we are going to disregard those by rule. So our correct answer on this play is when there's a correctable error, which of this activity during an unmerited free throw would be canceled? And our correct answer is A. A common foul would be canceled. If we had that displacement foul during that and we discovered the situation and we recognized it was an unmerited free throw, we would say there is no foul on the play, and we're going to resume at our point of interruption. And of course, we could just take a moment and review that situation, right? So let's say we had that. The scoreboard says 10 team fouls. We award 2 free throws for bonus. Player goes to the line, right? They should be shooting 1-1, but they are shooting bonus, right? They miss the first free throw. Players in the marked lane spaces are ready to go. We're going to administer the second free throw, which is, again, an unmerited free throw. And they release the ball. There's displacement on the line during this activity. And then once the whistle sounds, hey, ref, that last one should have been 1-1, right? So we have an unmerited free throw. What happens next? That's a good situation. What does happen next, right? So our situation says, we're going to ignore that last. We're going to cancel the foul. How do we resume the game, right? What happened leading up to that missed free throw, that missed unmerited free throw in which there was a foul, right? The previous free throw was missed. That should have been what happened. A free throw was missed, and we play from there. So I'm saying we're going possession arrow. Since there is no team control established and no indication of who should get the ball, in this situation. We're going possession arrow. Let's say the first free throw was made, and then we have the unmerited free throw. Then what's the point of interruption? We would go back after the made free throw, the opponent, end line throw in would be our resumption of play in that situation. Yeah, that's a good situation. It's a good situation to think through. And of course, anytime we have a complex play that we're going to have to think through, we have to put ourselves onto the basketball court. There's confusion in the gym. We have a foul and we're going to cancel the foul, right? I'm the opposing coach. What? You're going to cancel? What? Right? Nobody's going to know what the heck's going on, right? If we can imagine ourselves in these situations, then we could, all right, so what would we do? How would we do? We're going to have to come together, right? We may have to convince our partner what's the correct thing to do, but we're going to work together as a crew. May have some communication to do with coaches, stakeholders in the game, explaining the canceling of the foul and all of these things, right? We just take a moment and think through how we would handle it. Then when these kind of situations arise in our game, maybe we were a little more prepared to do it on the court. But you just have to embrace the fact that there's going to be confusion in this situation. And we may have to come together as a crew and get it right. Oy, oy, oy. A is our correct answer, Charles. Yeah, all these situations. Hey, Nate, good to see you. Jumping in from Palo Alto. That PA is a code that I use here locally for Palo Alto, a local city where Stanford is, Stanford University. Hey, yeah. Jason, you have, yes, you are absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. That's why we do it as a crew, right? Yeah, excellent. So in the scenario we described, right, and they missed the first free throw, and if they had made the second free throw, or made the first free throw, then they would be awarded, and this would not be an unmerited situation. So that's a good one to talk through as well. All right, so we get into that situation. It was erroneously awarded to player made the first, made the second, foul during the second, right? We're going to cancel the foul. Oh my gosh. I don't know the answer to that. We're going to cancel the foul. Is it? Wow. That's a really good one. I am stumped, right? So it was not an unmerited free throw in that situation. So if we erroneously announced two, the player made one and then made a second one, and a foul occurred during that, it would not be a situation. And the table said, hey, ref, that was only 9 fouls. They did not receive an unmerited free throw. In that instance, we would assess the foul for the penalty for the foul. In that instance, oh man, that's a stumper. That punches you in the nose. Wow. Thank you, Randy. Thank you. Yeah, it came to me eventually. Excellent. Excellent. Appreciate everybody's feedback on that one, because that stumped me. All right, let's look at another rules question. All of the following are ruled as correctable errors except A, failure to award a merited free throw and permitting a wrong player to attempt a free throw. B, erroneously awarding the ball to the wrong team for a throw-in and making a field goal in the wrong basket. C, attempting a free throw at the wrong basket and erroneously counting or canceling a score. Or D, none of the above. It's an excellent example of a confusing question in the way that it's presented. We want to have test questions that allow officials to display an understanding of the rules, sometimes in an effort to make sure that we have understanding. There's questions that are constructed in a fashion that could be improved. And the pairing of things here in these questions is I don't find helpful in clearly asking what the question is. That's all I'm going to say about that. But our correct answer here is B, erroneously awarding the ball to the wrong team for a throw-in, right? This is a common situation. The officials have made a mistake, and they're eager to fix the mistake by saying, wait a minute, right? After the throw-in is completed, right? Wait, we're going to give the ball to the other team because that's the fair thing to do, right? But by rule, once the free throw has ended, we cannot make that correction any longer, right? It's frustrating. We want to do the right thing for the game. We've made a mistake. We've done something that, impaired one team. We want to fix it, but by rule, we cannot. And making a field goal in the wrong basket, that is not a correctable error to make a field goal in the wrong basket. If we put the ball in the opponent's basket, it is 2 points for that opponent. That's a bit of an odd one. Right on. Okay. Nice. All right, we're getting in the groove with our questions. We're feeling good about it. And of course, we are using National Federation of High School Basketball rules exclusively for these questions. Awesome. Right, so understanding correctable errors, they don't happen frequently, but when they do, they can really present a lot of issues for a crew in terms of adjudicating a play properly. So these three questions we've just had address correctable error situations and help us achieve that goal. But let's now look at another rules question. After Team A scores in the last 10 seconds of the second half, and before the ball is at the disposal of Team B for a throw-in, A1 grabs B2 in an effort to have a foul ruled and saved time. A1 is whistled for an intentional technical foul, and Team B is awarded 2 free throws. Where will the ball be put in play for a designated spot throw-in? A, Team B's choice. B, at the division line opposite the table. C, along the end line for a non-designated spot throw-in. Or D, at the designated spot nearest to where the intentional technical foul occurred, right? So we have a situation where Team A scores, and before the ball is at the disposal of a Team B player for a throw-in, there is a foul that is committed in an effort to stop the clock, right? So we've properly identified that this is an intentional technical foul for contact during a dead ball, right? But once we've identified it as a technical foul, that makes things really simple about how we're going to administer. What is the penalty for a technical foul? It is always 2 free throws awarded to any player or eligible substitute can attempt those 2 free throws and the ball at the division line opposite the table. National Federation of High School Basketball rules always administrative technical, substitute technical, player technical, bench technical, team technical. It's always 2 free throws, any player, eligible substitute, and the ball at the division line. We could certainly take that with us onto the basketball court. And our correct ruling on this play is at the division line opposite the table, right? Even though, they've lost their ability to run the end line, that's because something has happened that changed what's going to happen next, right? So in this instance, I've cracked the code. Let me go back. I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to go here. No. God damn it. Oh, the best laid plans. The best laid plans. Any Team B team members can shoot the free throws, throw in at the division line opposite the table, right? The simplicity here is in identifying what we have, right? Even though it's after a made basketball is a technical foul, and the technical foul is always going to be administered in the same way. B is correct. Oh, excellent. Yes, I have added the text of the questions into the show description in an effort to help with the process of getting the video up and putting timestamps in so people can more effectively move through. Excellent. Zooch, working the system on us. Working the system. All right. Yeah. Okay. I see. Okay. All right. We're rocking it. We're rocking it. We're moving along. Awesome. Right. So the key in this ruling here is identifying that it's a technical foul. Once we know that it's a technical foul, everything gets simple after that. There's no complexity. We're not fooled by the fact that, wait, end line, throw in, etc. Right? There's no complexity. National Federation of High School Basketball rules. Now understand, of course, that if we're not, if we're working with somebody who does other levels, right? If we're working with someone who does other levels, they may think, okay, we're after a technical foul, we're going point of interruption or something like this, right? So we have to be aware of that. But for National Federation of High School, it gets simple. And we appreciate simple. All right, let's look at another rules question. When is it permissible for a player who has blood on his or her uniform to remain in the game while blood exists on that uniform? A, when an official determines the blood has not saturated the uniform. B, when medical personnel determine the blood has not saturated the uniform. C, never. If the uniform has any amount of blood on it, it shall not be worn. Or D, none of the above, right? So what we get here is exposure to possible rulings at other levels, right? You could have a situation where you're working with a collegiate official and they say, hey, if it hasn't saturated, it's still legal, etc. Make it simple. National Federation of High School, blood, no, right? If there is blood on a player, no, they may not participate. If there is blood on a jersey, no, they may not participate. It's really straightforward and simple, right? It's just like in high school, it is just something that is a rock solid concept. Blood on a uniform, cannot participate. Now, if we direct a player to leave because of blood on their uniform, we need to be aware of how they could properly and legally return to the game, right? If you have a situation where a player may have to change their uniform, of course, then we're going to have to potentially do some communication, ensure that that player doesn't remove the jersey in the visual confines and all of that. And we need to be aware that that player's jersey can be replaced by a extra jersey that the team has, or by the jersey of a teammate Little Billy's on the bench, at the end of the bench, unlikely to play. He's going to have to give up his jersey, right? Which we just have to be aware that that can be legal as well. So that presents, of course, some interesting scenarios as well. Like, what's Billy going to wear after he removes his jersey outside the visual confines? We're sort of we're butting up against NFHS restrictions on removing jerseys in this situation. No. Okay. So in this situation, our correct answer is C. It is never. If the uniform has any amount of blood on it, it shall not be worn. That is just a bottom line, hard line for National Federation of High School basketball rules. Let's see what's missing. So, blood on a jersey, a hardline restriction, National Federation of High School basketball rules. Of course, you're going to get into all sorts of gray area situations as well. Like, there's something that's, dark brown on a player's jersey. It's obviously not fresh. It's like it may have occurred, like it may be a stain. All of these things come into play. We're going to have to use common sense about how to proceed. But understanding, though, that National Federation of High School says any amount of blood on a jersey makes that player ineligible to participate wearing that jersey. It can be remedied. The blood can be removed. A replacement jersey can be found. All of those things. But the wearing of a jersey with blood on it is strictly prohibited by rule. Oy, oy, oy. Let's look at another rules question. Which of these scenarios would result in a violation? A. A1 jumps to try for goal, but realizing it will be blocked, drops the ball to the floor and starts a dribble. B. A1 dribbles a second time after losing control of the first dribble because an opponent touched the ball. C. A1 jumps to try for goal, but the ball is knocked out of his or her hands. A1 retrieves the ball in the air, lands, and starts a new dribble. D. A1 loses the ball in an attempt to end his or her dribble. A1 takes 3 steps to where the ball is and is able to retrieve the ball. A1, after picking the ball up off the floor, passes to a teammate. Which of these would result in a violation? One of these is an obvious violation, but the others can be beguiling when we see them happen in our game, right? So we can review all of those. Our correct answer here is A. A player who jumps to try for goal has lifted their pivot foot. Once you lift the pivot foot, you cannot begin a dribble by rule. Okay, so that's our correct answer on the play. But B, A1 dribbles a second time after losing control of a dribble because an opponent touched the ball. When an opponent touched the ball and caused that loss of control, the previous dribble, had ended. It's ended by rule. This player can grab the ball, begin a new dribble, no restriction on that. A1 jumps to try for goal, but the ball is knocked out of his or her hands. A1 retrieves the ball in the air, right? So you get that play, the player goes up, the ball's deflected, it pops up, it's right in front of them. They grab the ball, come down, and start a new dribble, right? Start a new dribble. Legal. Legal. That contact by the defense ended any previous restriction. Or D, A1 loses the ball in an attempt to end his or her dribble, right? They're dribbling, they attempt to pick it up, but oh, they fumbled it, right? They go, it bounces a couple of times, they take a couple of steps, and they pick the ball up. All of these are legal activities by rule. Okay, yes, legal by rule. So it's good to review those. Our answer on this question is an obvious one, really straightforward. Let's look at another rules question. In which of these scenarios will an overtime period always occur if A1 is assessed a technical foul after the expiration of time to end regulation? A, when the score is tied. B, when Team A is ahead by a point. C, when Team B is ahead by a point. Or D, none of the scenarios guarantee an overtime is played, right? So we're talking about A1 is assessed a technical foul after the expiration of time to end regulation. Not something that's going to happen frequently, but, right, imagine the scenario. There's going to be confusion. The players are coming, team members are coming onto the court. There's finger pointing, etc. Hey, he can't, this. Our crew is a little disconnected. The horn has sounded, right? We're ready to exit the scene, and we have a technical foul by a player after the horn has sounded, or after the end of regulation, which would be after the horn has sounded, right? So if we go through the scenarios, right, if the result of the free throws would affect the outcome, then we're going to shoot those free throws as part of the fourth period or the previous period. If the free throws would not affect the result of the game, then we will not attempt any free throws. And if the score is tied at the end of regulation, regulation has ended, and the subsequent technical foul would be considered to have occurred as part of the overtime period going forward. So that's how we would begin the overtime. So our correct answer in this situation is A. When the score is tied, regulation, horn sounds, then we have a player technical on A1, right? We assess the technical, and we are going to begin the overtime period with that. So this is the scenario where an overtime period always occurs, right? A is our correct answer there, right? Easy to see how confusing, and we're going to have to sort this out. And it's obviously what we do next in this situation is a game-deciding situation, right? If we erroneously say, oh no, Team B is going to shoot free throws here, and the result of the free throws is going to determine who wins the game in that tie scenario, then we have made a major mistake, one from which a team could not recover, right? So adjudicating these plays properly is critical. That question gives us a good chance to review that one. What happens if I go there? Huh. Okay. What am I doing? Where am I? What are we doing? Okay. I see. I see where I've gone wrong. All right, let's take a look at our next rules question. Team A requests a 60-second timeout, which is granted by the official. After 30 seconds have passed, Team A is ready to play. Team B, though, wants to use the entire timeout. Can the length of a timeout be shortened? A, yes, if Team A is ready to play. Team B will not be able to use the entire timeout. B, yes, Team A must declare before the timeout it would only like to use 30 seconds. C, no, Team B can use 90 seconds if they would like. Or D, no, Team B is entitled to use the entire timeout. All right. This gives us a chance to have a clear understanding of timeouts, right? Really simple and straightforward. You know, we begin a timeout, right? We have a procedure that we use. We find out what kind of timeout the coach wants. We communicate to our partners, the other team, what we're going to have. We go to the table. We report. We start the timeout. And the interval for the timeout begins, either 60 seconds or 90 seconds. And during any timeout scenario with 15 seconds remaining, we'll get a warning horn, and then we will resume play on the second. Here we have a situation where the team that requested the timeout just didn't want to use the entire time, and they're ready to play, right? But it's not their timeout anymore. It's the game's timeout. And if the other team wants to utilize it, they are entitled to utilize the entire time of the timeout. No restriction, right? So our correct answer here is D. No, period. Team B is entitled to use the entire timeout, right? That's simple and straightforward. Now, what if we have a situation, though, where we have a 60-second timeout? We begin it. Team A, after 15 seconds, comes back out onto the floor. After another 5 seconds, Team B comes out after the floor. Both teams are ready to play. Do we need to? No, we can't. You have to go back to your benches or stay in your timeout area. No. If they're ready to play, they're ready to play. This can be different at other levels. If you have a media timeout scenario, let's say at a collegiate level, where no, we need to utilize the full timeout because they're running commercials on the, etc. Right? So that we can have that a little different. If both teams are ready to play, it's really straightforward. We're going to go. Let's get this game going. Oh, thanks for everybody hanging with me. Yeah, so if we think through practical applications, right, sometimes we may prompt, if our, understanding the, oh, I see. It's going down in the chat. All right. Let's see. Okay. Boy, I'm tempted to make a change midstream, but I'm not going to do it. We're going to look at our penultimate rules question. Let's go. Let's look at another rules question. Which of the following is true regarding a defender guarding near a boundary line? A guard may move laterally, obliquely, and toward an opponent to maintain position when contact occurs. B, after obtaining legal guarding position, the defender may maintain legal guarding position with 1 foot on the playing court and 1 foot off the floor above the boundary line. C, a player who goes out of bounds under normal play must return both feet to the playing court before being able to regain inbound status. Or D, to obtain initial legal guarding position, the defender may have 1 foot on the playing court and 1 foot touching the boundary line. Ay, ay, ay. Right? A relatively straightforward question, but it really is 4 questions in one. It's like, judge the veracity of each of these 4 answers, right? Is really a better way to do that, and we can do that here, right? So a guard may move laterally, obliquely, and toward an opponent. No, not toward, laterally, obliquely, and backwards, right? So number A is incorrect. C, a player who goes out of bounds under normal play must return both feet to the playing court before being able to regain inbound status. No, a player's status is determined if they have 1 foot in and nothing out, they are in bounds. If they have 1 foot out, they are out of bounds. If they have left out of bounds and are in the air and have not established, they are out of bounds, right? But they do not need to establish both feet in bounds. A single foot in bounds or a single part of their body, should they come in with a cartwheel, would establish that legality. And then D, to obtain a initial legal guarding position, the defender may have 1 foot on the playing court and 1 foot touching a boundary line. And this gets to the heart of the question, right? That is illegal by rule to establish a legal guarding position by having out of bounds status, which that player would. So our correct answer here is B. After obtaining legal guarding position, the defender may maintain that position with 1 foot on the court and 1 foot above out of bounds, right? Because they do not have out of bounds status, that would be legal. After obtaining legal guarding position, which requires 2 feet on the floor facing the opponent, that restriction of 2 feet on the floor is no longer in play for maintaining legal guarding position. So this is a good question that sort of gets to those fundamental concepts and can help us with those. So we appreciate a good question that provokes us into a better understanding of the rules. If I do that one more time. All right, let's take a look at our last question for today. What is the result if Team A's throw-in lodges between the basket and the backboard? A, no violation. The alternating possession arrow determines which team gets the ensuing throw-in. B, Team A has committed a throw-in violation and the ensuing throw-in is awarded to Team B. C, Team A has committed a throw-in violation and the ensuing throw-in is awarded based on the alternating possession arrow. Or D, none of the above. Right? So we see the ball lodged, right, between the basket and the backboard. And our initial thought is, okay, that's a possession arrow, right? Because that's normally what happens. But during a throw-in, we have something different. And this is specifically a throw-in violation by rule. Boom. Okay, great. Throw-in violation. Now we know exactly what happens next. Just like before when we had the technical foul, well, technical foul, it's easy, right? We know what happens next. In a situation where we have a throw-in violation, everything gets really simple. Ball to the opponent, back at the original throw-in spot, right? Really straightforward. So our correct answer here is B. Team B has committed a throw-in violation and the ensuing throw-in is awarded to Team B. Simple, straightforward. Give me just a second. I've come to a crossroads. Give me just a second. I don't want to go there. All right. Hey, thanks for joining us today for Basketball Rules Expert. Allow me a moment to thank our tremendous show supporters. Jeffrey Jewett, Gary Mouton, Ashton Dillon, Dan Kelly, and Les O'Connor Jr. Much appreciated and much love. You want to support the show? You can always head to abetterofficial.com/coffee. You know I'm going to put a link above and in the show notes below. Awesome. I am so confused. Oy, oy, oy. We have additional video content for you here. This is a video that I have selected. This is a video that YouTube has selected. You make your choice. Choose wisely. See you in the very next video. Take care. Go away, Greg. Go away. Jeez Louise. Boy, oh boy. Let's just say we're a little disappointed. I had really high hopes for today, and man, this is a challenge. It's challenging. Boy, oh boy. Oy, oy, oy. Well, that was a challenge. Okay. So, we will have 5 Play Friday on Friday. Funny how that works. In a couple of days. Hope you join us then. Yeah, it does work. It works its way out in post. The process is simple, though. It's just like, okay, look, let's record the show for 90 minutes. And then this part in the middle that's about 45 seconds long, we'll just lop this, and then that's there. Maybe tweak it just a little bit, but it's just ready to go, right? If we don't do that, if it's like got fits and starts all along the way, it's much more laborious process in post. Yeah. Well, Jason, you've hit my expectations are getting lowered constantly. Boy, oh boy. I was really excited for today, and yeah, no, the dogs are and cats are. Thanks, Gary. Appreciated. Well, I'm going to wrap it up for today. I appreciate everybody joining and putting up with again. The stuff, all of the stuff. I will work on resolving all of those issues now when we go offline, and I will see everybody on Friday. Make it a great day, and take care.